Thank you for tuning in for Pet Week on Capitol Hill. I'm Clodovita, your Pet Week host. For those of you joining for the first time, Pet Week on Capitol Hill is a series of virtual programming about the importance of pet ownership in America. This week, we've learned all about new research and data, impactful programs, and pet friendly policies that strengthen the human animal bond and improve well being for pets and the people that love and care for them. Pet Week is hosted by the Human Animal Bond Research Institute, HABRI, a nonprofit research and education organization that works to advance the vital role of the human animal bond in the health and well being of people, pets, cultures, and communities. I'd like to take a moment and thank all of our Pet Week on Capitol Hill sponsors who make this programming possible. Special thanks to this session's sponsor, Zoetis, the world's leading animal health company. Zoetis is also a founding trustee of HABRI and is deeply committed to the human-animal bond. Now, I am pleased to pass things off to Jeanette Ferran-Astorga, Executive Vice President, Corporate Affairs, and Chief Sustainability Officer at Zoetis, who will say a word of welcome and introduce our session speakers.
Thank you, Chloe. I'm pleased to introduce our Pet Week session about People and Animals Wellbeing, or the PAW Act. As one of the original founders of HABRI, Zoetis is dedicated to advancing the science of the human-animal bond and to supporting efforts that help keep pets and people happy and healthy together. In fact, this mirrors our own purpose, which is to nurture the world and humankind by advancing care for animals. Pet owners are deeply committed to their animals, and research consistently shows that having pets boosts mental health and heart health and also reduces obesity and social isolation. And that's why Zoetis, along with HABRI and other leaders in the pet care community, are supporting the PAW Act, which seeks to help make veterinary care more affordable for millions of Americans. As you know, health savings accounts, or HSAs, and flexible spending accounts, FSAs, allow people to set aside pre-tax funds to cover a variety of health-related expenses. And right now, FSAs and HSAs help 72 million Americans, and that number is growing. Now, the great thing about the PAW Act is that it will enable 70% of U.S. pet-owning households to use their saved healthcare funds to cover veterinary care. And specifically, the PAW Act would allow people to use up to $1,000 in these tax-advantaged accounts for veterinary expenses. Plus, the PAW Act will make it more affordable for people with mental and physical disabilities, including disabled veterans, to care for their service animals. Importantly, the impact on the federal budget will be minimized by not raising the annual HSA or FSA contribution levels beyond the existing limits. So in closing, it is very clear that passing the PAW Act will have numerous benefits, including helping more people enjoy a healthier lifestyle with their pets, giving U.S. pet owners more options to afford veterinary care, making it easier for people with disabilities to care for their service animals, improving public health by increasing access to veterinary care, which in turn helps prevent disease. And finally, reducing the number of people who are forced to surrender their pets because they cannot afford to care for them. Zoetis is proud to be working with HABRI in support of this important legislation, and we are committed to advancing the health and well-being of people and pets. We know that there are many members of Congress who love and care for animals. All you have to do is look around the pet photos proudly displayed in their congressional offices. So it is now my pleasure to introduce you to two of them, who are also the PAW Act's co-sponsors, Representatives Claudia Tenney of New York and Deborah Ross of North Carolina. We are grateful for their leadership and thank them for introducing the PAW Act.
Good afternoon, and thank you to everyone who traveled to Washington to take part in the Human Animal Bond Research Institute's annual Pet Week. Your advocacy goes a long way in helping to advance policies that promote the well being of both people and animals. Animals have always been a part of my life, and the connection between pets and people is like that of family. And the laws that we here in Congress enact reflect that by making veterinary care more accessible and affordable. That is why I introduced the People and Animals Wellbeing Act, or PAW Act, alongside my colleague, Congresswoman Ross from North Carolina. This legislation seeks to address the growing need for financial assistance in caring for our pets by making veterinary expenses eligible under health savings accounts and flexible spending accounts. The bill specifically allows up to $1,000 of HSA or FSA funds to be used for veterinary care or a pet health insurance plan. For service animals, any amount of HSA or FSA funds can be used for veterinary care or pet health insurance plan. Importantly, the bill adopts a more comprehensive existing federal definition of a service animal for the purposes of FSA, HSA and FSA eligible expenses, including service animals for both physical and mental disabilities. For many Americans, pets are cherished members of our families, yet the rising costs of veterinary care can pose significant challenges. By allowing pet owners to use pre tax dollars to cover veterinary expenses, we can help alleviate some of the financial burdens that come with pet ownership. This will provide pet owners with peace of mind, encourage all families that can provide necessary care for their furry companions. The bond between humans and animals is a powerful one, and numerous studies have shown the positive impact that pets can have on our mental health and well being. Access to affordable veterinary care not only ensures the physical health of our pets, but also promotes the emotional and psychological well being for their owners. By making pet care more accessible, we are not only improving the lives of animals, but also fostering stronger, healthier communities. One of the key goals of the PAW Act is to prevent pet relinquishment because of financial challenges. Far too often, families are forced to make the heartbreaking decision to surrender their pets to shelters because they cannot afford necessary veterinary care. By allowing pet owners to use their existing HSAs or FSAs to pay for pet health care, we can help keep pets and people together, preserving the bond that brings so much joy and companionship to millions of households across the country. In closing, I want to express thanks to all of you for your dedication and taking the time to travel here to advocate for policies that promote the health and well being of both people and animals. I look forward to working with my colleagues in Congress alongside Congresswoman Ross to move this important legislation forward and create a brighter future for pets and their families. Thank you.
Hello, Habri. I'm Congresswoman Deborah Ross from the 2nd Congressional District in North Carolina. And I'm a huge animal supporter, particularly a supporter of my 8-year-old Scottish Deerhound, Wiley, who is just the love of our family's life. He's such a happy boy. And I've done a lot of work when I was a state legislator on animal issues and have continued that work here in Congress. And I know that in addition to providing the love and the comfort and support that we do for our animals, and of course that we get in return, that it's not cheap to have a family pet. And it's not easy when that pet is sick and has to go to the vet and has to get medicine and all the rest. And that's one of the reasons why in both Congresses, the last Congress and this Congress, I've introduced on a bipartisan basis the PAW Act that lets people use their health savings account, human health savings accounts, in order to buy pet insurance. I have heard from so many people what a game changer this would make so that they could take care of their pets, particularly their aging pets. And I've also heard from veterinarians that it would make an enormous difference in their practice because, of course, they deal with people who have to make very, very difficult decisions about their family pets every day. And we don't want those decisions to always have to be financial. So I want you to know that I support the work that you do, that I'm working here in Congress to help pet owners all over this country. And I'm a huge animal lover, particularly for my deerhound, Wiley.
I'd like to thank Jeanette Ferran Astorga and Congresswomen Tenney and Ross for their time today. It was a pleasure hearing about the People and Animals Wellbeing Act and how it will positively impact pet owners across the country. And thank you again to our session sponsor, Zoetis. Pet Week is made possible through the generosity of our sponsors who are dedicated to sharing information about the importance of pets and the human-animal bond for people and communities across America. Please join us for more sessions this week by visiting petnight.com or Habry's Facebook page. And on behalf of Habry and all of our sponsors, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.